everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. So today we are celebrating, and we're celebrating something pretty unique to me, pretty special to me, because this month is my 40th anniversary of being a pipe smoker. And I thought, what better way to celebrate than with my buddies from the Austin Pipe Club. We got Warren over here, and we got Alvin over here. We are going to crack open a 40-year-old tin of Rattray's Black Mallory. So this was intentionally bought about 5 years ago. When I saw it online, I thought, okay, that's the one I'm going to celebrate with because it's specific to the year that I started pipe smoking. And so we're going to crack this open and we're going to share a bowl and we're going to kind of give you our opinion of what this tastes like after 40 years of aging. So you guys ready?
We're ready.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to first crack open the tin, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's in a metal can. Here's the artwork first. And it's in a metal tin that actually the top of it is pretty ballooned up, which means there's been some active fermentation going on inside here. So we should get a nice burst of smells as we crack this open. So let's hear what we got. Here we go. Whoa! That had some backup, didn't it? Oh goodness, smell that before we even pull that off.
That's amazing.
It's so sweet.
Very sweet.
Oh, the sweet aroma of that. Looking forward
It
to
is
that.
nice,
Yes.
isn't it? All right, so here we go. Pull it off, and we're hoping there's no mold or anything like that. And man, it's just, it looks perfect.
Yep.
That was a little smoky barbecue smell in there.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You should have heard this explode when we opened it up. 40 years old.
Exploded.
It exploded. It, poof.
Oh, it had a beautiful fruity smell.
Warren, you were saying something about how the Rattrays was a base for some. Would you talk about that a
well,
little bit?
I had read that when Mike and Mary McNeil were starting McClellan's, that some of the best tobacco that they were working with was Rattrays, and they were trying to make sure they're emulating some of the Rattray's blends, like Black Mallory, Red Rattray.
It'll be interesting to compare this. I'm a regular Rattray Black Mallory smoker, and but it's got Cyprian Latakia, and this is bound to have Syrian in it. So
here we go, guys. We are going to put some in the old valet here and let everybody load up. We'll come back to you and give you our thoughts. All right, guys. So let's first talk about the tin note. What are you getting from the tin note on this? And if you have ever smoked Black Mallory before, kind of compare it to a fresh can of Black Mallory.
I mean, for me, you get a real, like a sweet barbecue sauce, not super tangy, but it just has that richness, little bit of smokiness there, but it's really enjoyable. Tin note.
So, Warren, would you mind looking again and telling us what tobaccos comprise this blend? You know, it's hard to smell it from this because I'm getting a lot of leather from the valet. What do you get?
well, okay. I'm trying to compare this to the Black Mallory that I've been recently smoking, and obviously, in that you get more of the Latakia. Here, the Virginias have just fermented to a beautiful flavor, and I'm getting a little bit, but I'm getting that fruity fermentation of those Virginias in this. I guess it could be some of the Oriental, but I'm thinking it's Virginias. But it just smells wonderful.
So the first thing that I get right off the bat is a little bit of a tart smell.
Yep.
And then it's followed by a kind of a funky sweetness, a musty sweetness. And then that smoky barbecue flavor kind of comes in right after it. But that sweetness is a strange sweetness. It's not like a sugary sweetness.
No, it's
Right.
you would almost think there was some apricot in the flavoring in it or something. I know that's not in
More
there.
like a molasses,
Yeah.
which is not like terribly sweet. It's a different sort. Like
Yeah.
compare molasses sugar to cane sugar.
kind of a bittersweet.
Yeah.
Bittersweet, just not.
Yeah, now that you say molasses, that I'm starting to get some molasses.
Right,
out
right.
of this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is characterized as a Scottish blend, so it's Virginia, Oriental Turkish, Latakia, some Black Cavendish.
When they, James, you might be able to answer this, but when they Cavendish of Virginia, you know, that basically that's also called stoving, right? Does it pretty much stop aging at that point? I mean, can it age much more than that?
I think it can age some more, but I mean, it definitely reduces the amount of nicotine in that tobacco.
What about sugar content? Because aren't you, when you steam it, aren't you kind of
You're
manipulating that sugar to its maximum point?
I think you're just locking it in.
Yeah.
So you kick out the nicotine and you lock in the sugar content.
But the Virginia's in
Stop.
here.
Stop any, I guess, maturation of it.
Yeah. But the Virginias are regular Virginias. Are they reds? They have to be because
I
this
believe
is
they
a red
are.
wrappery.
I believe they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, that is just a unique bouquet. And I say bouquet because it does have just a really joyful smell to it. All right, well, let's light up, guys, and see what we think.
Let's do it.
Sounds like somebody's already beaten us to that, yeah. You know, we were talking about this earlier. I don't want to really say much about it at the very first lighting, especially something as old as this that needs an opportunity to kind of breathe a little bit. Definitely taste a lot of Kia. The lot of Kia is there, but it's sweetened up quite a bit.
It is.
Yeah, it's like s'more campfire.
It's a sweet
It's like-
campfire flavor.
It's like a campfire and the bag of marshmallows fell on the campfire. Maybe got a little bit of the plastic while I was at it.
All right, guys, let's talk about what we're getting out of this. So for me, the smoky is there, probably prominent. Do you agree with that? It's probably the first flavor I get. But that I think I'm tasting some of the Black Cavendish coming through too. That sweeter.
I'm definitely tasting that. The campfire's there, but it's a very subtly sweet campfire flavor.
You know, that marshmallow that you were talking about probably is from that Black Cavendish.
And it's taming, like I'm getting further down the bowl, it's taming down the campfire so you're getting less of the smoky.
And the Orientals are actually, there's a spiciness to the Oriental. I'm getting that in the middle of my tongue.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's what came through first for me was not just the smokiness, but I'm assuming it's Syrian where you get a little bit of that winey, florally side to the smokiness. And of course you got Orientals right there with it. So a lot of flavor layers there's lots of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of different layers going on here.
Definitely getting a little more of the spice on the retro head on the back of my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the Virginias in this? You know, when we talk about red Virginias, we're usually thinking of a tangy sweetness with a little bit of a woody, earthy tone to it, and maybe some grassiness also. But are you getting any of that?
This is so old that the grassiness is not there. I'm not getting any grassiness at all. It's a little bit of the woodsy.
The more earthy kind of flavors that are coming. Yeah, that woody. I'm not sure that the reds are lending any kind of sweetness to the taste. I think it's pretty much all the black
I would
Cavendish.
agree with that. I'm not. I think the woody, earthy of the Virginias it's a mellow one. It's a mellow earthy. But yeah, obviously the age has had a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Any kind of citrus or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I've only had a number of very old tobaccos, and so I don't know how to necessarily describe it, but there is kind of that very, very aged flavor to it, which comes across. There is no such thing as aged flavor, but what it comes across is you know, almost there's like a little bit of like if there's anything hay related, it's like really old hay that has a little mustiness
Musty.
to it
No,
Yeah.
that comes through,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't say that in it that it's a bad flavor. It's just that's why I say it's kind of an aged flavor. It's just really, really highly matured and aged, so it has a little mustiness to it.
They say that when you taste English blends that have been aged for any kind of length of time, that the Latakias begin to dissipate, and you don't get a lot of that flavor. This has plenty of Latakia flavor.
Tons, yep.
it does, but it's very mellow. It's not a in your face flavor. It's very mellow, and I wouldn't call it mild. Just
I think it's a full Latakia
Yeah,
flavor, but
yeah.
it's not bitter or strong. You know how sometimes the Latakias can get bitter on you, and
Yeah,
this doesn't have that bitterness.
Yeah, it's smoother.
Yeah.
It's not edgy at all.
no, not at all.
Let's talk about the room note then. What are you getting out of the room note?
Nothing, because that retro element knows it's not.
I wonder if walking out and walking back in would make a difference. You know how we were.
It's okay
Yeah.
walking down.
I mean, I think the Latakia is prominent,
Yeah.
you know, and probably the Orientals a little bit too.
So typically off of an English, I would get a musty, earthy kind of room note. Almost very similar to some types of cigars, you know? But I'm not sure that this is potent enough to get that, you know?
It's very mellow.
And I'm getting more of the Latakia and maybe a little of the Orientals as I smoke the bowl. I'm not getting the Virginias seem to be kind of taking a back seat.
What I'm finding, because at the beginning, the Latakias to me were a little edgy, but as I'm smoking it down, it seems that those Latakias have tamed off and kind of rounded out the blend a little bit. So we'll get back to you on the room note, because Kale will come in and we'll ask him about the room note. What do you think about the moisture content of this?
Oh, it was perfect. Perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah,
Surprisingly enough, it has
No,
moisture in
It
it.
does. It does.
It
But
didn't
it's-
lose any
It
moisture.
does. It's perfect. I mean, it's
Doesn't need additional drying at
no,
all.
it does not. Matter of fact, you wouldn't want any dryer. It's just like where it ought to be.
I think that's amazing after 40
Which
years.
40 years, that is amazing. Because how many times have you opened a tobacco that was near this old that was pretty dry?
This is going to be better 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
This is, especially if I kind of open it up a little bit, break apart all those leaves and then put them back together and put it back in the tin. It'll be better.
Yep.
Um,
but it's pretty full flavored right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it would probably bloom a little more.
what do you think about the nicotine content on this?
Non-existent.
No, mild to me. Very mild.
But I mean, you can smoke all day long, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well,
matter.
Englishes are not known for their
Yeah.
banging
And
nicotine.
you've got steam Cavendish, which knock it down too. So.
Well, this is not a lap bomb, that's for sure. I mean, because of, it's definitely it's a
So
mellow smoke.
compare this to some of the Englishes that you've smoked. What are you tasting? Because I can already say that there's a hint of plum pudding on this.
I mean, Margate, right? It's got a slightly similar flavoring to this. Maybe that's just the fact that it's in English too. But,
Yep.
you know,
James, do you know when they stopped using Syrian in blends and started using the Cypriot?
so there was a 2,000 couple batches that came from Syria, and the major manufacturers bought everything they could get, and then they went back into conflict after 2000, 2001. I mean, it was like 98 through like 2001. They were able to get some, but they hadn't had some since like the 80s or something like that. And so there was a brief period of time where we got Syrian Latakia again. McClellan bought up as much. We also had a whole bunch here in a warehouse, and I don't know if it was Cornell and Deal or it was McClellan. One of their warehouses burnt down, and they had a whole bunch of Syrian Latakia. Lost all of it. But some of the other blenders still had it, which is why you saw like McBaron released, trickled it out over the next 10, 15 years.
Yep.
And it's from the little bit that they had left. So yeah, I think 2001 was the last.
So if this is 1983, then it's a high
Fresh.
probability of it being Syrian. Is what
There is a forum post out there that was in great detail, and I skimmed through it and read it, and kind of that's the pieces that I stored in my memory bank. But it's been a very long time.
you guys need to see who. Well, shit, that'll be edited. You guys need to see who's talking about this. This is James Foster, president of the Austin Pipe Club, and also contributor to Pipes and Magazines, and web manager for the Country Squire. Anything else I missed?
Yeah, that's about it.
That's good enough, right?
And he is a master of pipes.
He's always a master of pipes. Everyone down.
Exactly.
Master of pipes. All right. Well, thanks for your ideas there. All right. Well, so final verdict on this. Final verdict. What do you guys think? Are you enjoying this?
I am.
How does it compare, Alvin, to the new Black Mallory?
Well, no doubt about it, and I think it's the Syrian as well. It's just it's the Latakia is very noticeable, but it's mellow. It's a very mellow. The age is really mellowed the Latakia, and I'm actually getting still a little of the spice on the back of my tongue from it, and that I would assume that's coming from the Orientals.
I would think that they have something to contribute to that, but you know, a lot of the red Virginia blends that I smoke also have a spice to it a little bit too, you know. So
You know, something you said, because everyone says, well, Cyprian Latakia is a lot more harsh than your other Latakia, and that maybe the reason why is that we're always smoking older Syrian Latakia that's been in the warehouses for a long time.
Yes.
And it's just mellowed out, but all Latakia is harsh at the beginning and has to sit and mellow for a while.
well, I'm enjoying the heck out of this.
I love it.
Did-
But we're all English
Yeah,
smokers.
yeah.
We
I am.
like English.
That's my wheelhouse.
James, what do you smoke mostly?
Aromatics, but I just bought a bag of Margate, right? I like a good English, especially
Just quality tobaccos, yeah. Yeah.
Penzance, Pembroke, Margate, McClelland, Cellar, Frogmorton Cellar.
You know, the regular Rattays, which I smoke, Rattrays, it's certainly a repeatable smoke. And I have repeated it, but this would be something I could repeat even more often because it's mellow, more mellow.
Well, with the scarcity of finding this,
No.
I think it's gotta be selective.
I'm being very hypothetical there, okay? Very hypothetical, but but it definitely would be it's easy to have a back-to-back on this one or even more.
Well, guys, I really appreciate y'all sharing this with me.
Thanks for sharing with
Well,
us.
thank you for sharing it with us,
Well, no,
because this is
that's-
a rare opportunity to do this.
No, it's something special for me, you know, and when I go home, I'll have my boys sit down with me and smoke some too. But being here in Austin and being able to meet up with old pipe buddies of mine is important. It's important, and I miss it. I miss it quite a bit. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
And thank you.
Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a special treat for us, not normal for what we put out, but I did want to share that with you. Let us know your thoughts, and if there's anything that you want us to review for you, so that we can put content out there that you're interested in. Thanks a lot again. Don't forget, make all your piping moments count. We'll see you next time.